All right. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep, I am Fearghall. I'm a materials artist. Currently studying at Staff's Uni, but I've taken a year out because of Corona. Um,
Yeah.
that's that's about it. Yeah, I was not about lockdown uni. Uh,
No? Is it
no.
difficult?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've been following the UK situation with
No.
lockdown, but it's not good. Nothing about it. It's good.
Well, at least you got your portfolio.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, yeah. I've been doing a
Let's
lot of personal work as well. So
yeah. Okay, let's switch to your oh man, everything is kind of different a bit here, so bear with me. I feel like I'm gonna switch to the wrong screen. There we go. All right, cool. Make sure. Yeah, cool. Okay, so UK material artist.
yeah.
When did you get started in like is this so you're wanting to be just straight up a material artist? That's the goal.
Yeah, yeah, material artist, tech artist. Do you want to go ahead and refresh my portfolio? I feel like
Yeah, yeah.
you might have
Yeah, I
just
had it
missed some
open
stuff I've
earlier.
like literally just uploaded.
Oh, right, because now you have
Yeah,
so you've
yeah,
separated out your
those two.
materials
Yeah,
from
yeah,
your.
yeah.
Oh, I
There
see,
was
I
a
see.
yeah, there's a competition back in May, so there were like 30 pieces which all got posted daily, and
Yeah,
haven't thought to condense them down.
that's some dedication uh
Yeah,
to
it
go
was
through
fun.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was real fun. Yeah, it was hosted by the club. Good,
Oh,
good
dude, they
appearance.
do great.
Yeah, yeah.
They do
Sadly,
great
I didn't do
challenges.
November this year.
Let's see here. So, okay, so how long have you been trying to do like working on your material process?
Um, I'd say seriously about 2 years. Yeah. Before that,
Yeah,
I was sort of floating around, environment art, character art, and that sort of thing. But I solidified on material art about 2 years
right.
ago. So
Let's see here. Muck's being super useful and linking portfolios in the chat. It's really good. Thanks, Muck. Um, cool. Okay, so uh, how long until you're done with school?
now it's 2023, I think. It
Yeah.
should have been 2022, but obviously,
Oh, really? Oh man,
big
that's
year.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, might be that I can go back into third year, might not be. I don't know.
Yeah,
Corona's sort of
yeah. It's
Corona
pushing
is
everything
Corona,
back.
and
Yeah,
everything is yeah.
yeah. It's pushing everything back.
uh,
Um. Okay, so let me see if like are these in order of like how long ago they were, or have you
Yeah,
moved
they
them
should
around a
be.
bit? Okay.
No, they should be more or less in order of date.
Cool. So okay, so these materials are like it's not that long ago. It's just this
Hmm. Yeah,
this last May. Um, and then
yeah.
it
There's some
looks
older
like
stuff on like the all tab, but this is the sort of stuff I would show. So
right. Okay. Um, so it looks like you've also kind of you have some props as well in the beginning.
yeah, yeah. Those are up there just to keep them out of the way of the materials, basically. So is the scene. The scene is older than all the materials on there, but it's just
Oh,
sort of
really? Okay.
yeah.
Well, okay, so if you want to be a material artist, I would move all of your materials up to the front. And I used
Hmm.
this electrical sci-fi corridor wall as like the main one
Yeah.
for the thumbnail. But yeah, I think moving all of your materials up to the front of the portfolio is going to be good. There's also a white frame that you're doing on all of your
Hmm.
thumbnails, which is kind
Yeah.
of for me it bugs me, but maybe it's a stylistic choice.
Yeah.
Um,
I sort of liked the grid look, but I
yeah.
can see why it would be distracting.
Um, let me see what else I can say on the thumbnails. So some of the shapes, I appreciate that you're not always using a sphere. That's kind of cool. Changes it up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. I think
And you're tilting them.
materials I decided cylinder looked best for most of them, but
Yeah,
I've switched back to spheres now.
yeah. The sphere, how you're tilting spheres is actually quite interesting because it's bringing a different like curve,
Hmm.
which is really
Yeah.
nice. I would say I think with the white frame, the reason it bugs me is because it just highlights how close the sphere gets to the edge of the thumbnail.
Yeah, I see that.
Um, but yeah, I think going between these can be fine. Consistency, people always like consistency, right? But
Hmm. Yeah.
I think when it comes to the way your materials are displayed, they look they look pretty good. Oh wow, this one looks pretty cool on the cylinder. The I think where your materials for me are lacking right now is in the roughness range.
Yeah, I totally get that. Roughness and albedo are sort of my shortcomings at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. I would say roughness is probably the most important channel
Yeah,
of a material in the PBR workflow. And specifically in this material, you have like so you've got what's like a fossil material, right? So you've got the shells in limestone,
yeah, basically.
and there's a bit of like distortion and stuff that's happening. So right now, I'm not able to see the separation between the types of elements that are in the material. And I think
hmm
once you can conquer that, as well as like get that roughness to separate them, that'll go quite a ways with your material work. And I mean fossils are as well as like tend to be pretty consistent with the roughness, just because they kind of become
Yeah,
the same material, right?
yeah. hmm I get
But
that.
yeah, I think with this material, it's mainly about the distortion that's happening to the fossils as they're kind of following along the limestone.
Yeah,
Um,
I played around with having them stick out, but I thought in the end that the distortion looked a little bit better.
yeah,
But I probably just, yeah, I should have just worked on it a bit more, I reckon.
I mean these are challenges, right? So you're doing these in a day.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like a day's thing. I think the electrical one was the longest, and it took me like 3 solid days, and then everything after that was catch up. So it was
Oh,
like
really? You're
one and
like
a half a day.
I'm
Yeah,
committing to this one.
yeah.
Um,
It was super fun to do, but if you look on it, you can see the graph at the end.
oh, really?
It's not pretty. Yeah.
I guess because you were just blasting. Oh, I think you've removed it. I don't know. In the
No, the graph for the electrical one. I
oh
think I posted that one as an exception because it was so bad. Like
oh my
there was
god,
so
that's
many.
amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah.
I I've never been able to tell like I mean maybe for material artists and Ben might be able to speak on this. I haven't actually been looking at. I'm gonna just tear out chat and put it like front and center for me. Ben Wilson's in chat and he's well first he's saying I need to be doing some more interpretive dance, but so he says that find it quite heavy. I'm not sure which material he was looking at. Perhaps if you knock the value of the grid. Oh, he's talking about the grid down. You can actually probably keep the grid.
Yeah,
It's just maybe like
keep it a
half
little
of
bit
the
darker.
value.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Mm. And then like 15% higher than the Artstation background. Oh, so he's like really subtle, but the grid is still present.
hmm
Um, I'm gonna clear these real quick before they're like, what the heck with the notifications. Anyways, I would say that with materials, it's about being able to define the shapes that are in the material, and then pushing the roughness and just understanding what elements are making up the material and how it's shaped or is chipping or aging. Um, the floors
hmm
tiles one is a pretty straightforward material to try and like prove those elements, right? Which is like,
Yeah, yeah. That was that, and the
mm,
cliff next to it was some like roughness studies, basically, like trying to get the look down. I feel like they still fall a bit short. They're a bit shiny, a bit small detail in places.
yeah, there's something to be said about like trying to solve the hard edges. I think that's why brick and stone are such a common material to go to.
hmm
It's just
Yeah.
because you have to solve all types of scenarios. It's like a combat course in materials. But Ben's saying maybe you could kill the graph renders. It's too small and complicated to read any useful information on. So if anything, it presents to you or to the person that's viewing your portfolio as like um, just a graph that will have a negative impact
Yeah.
or no impact, right?
Yeah.
Because
I tend
it's
not to. I
yeah,
do tend
okay.
not to keep doing. Yeah. Maybe I'll take that one off the electrical one as
Mm.
well. I just I sort of liked the how upsetting it was.
You liked how upsetting it was.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I probably should take it off.
um, but yeah, I think if you want to be a material artist, you should just I would pull these off, these three scenes, or the like you have two props,
Hmm.
which I'll say right now are very like if you were gonna do any props, I think your weakest point is like the material definition of the assets. So like with the sword, it's very I guess you're going for a stylized
Yeah,
like painted
I
look.
think it was a concept from RuneScape 3. So
Mm.
yeah, basically
Oh
hand
yeah,
painted.
super low look
Yeah.
then, low poly look. But yeah, there's things like the edge count on the eye here. I wouldn't ever really worry about the poly count when it comes to how you define um, whatever you're modeling
Hmm.
for your portfolio, because if you can model those shapes, you're proficient enough in the way that you're navigating like modeling itself that you should be able to optimize down an asset as well. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I can understand that.
but yeah, I wouldn't even. I think right now these three are just pushing your. They're making your portfolio look like you like. If I didn't talk to you, I would assume that even though it says material artist, that maybe you're questioning the path of material art, and you're actually going to go into environments or
Hmm.
props. Um, yeah. So, and I mean, it's Artstation's so weird because like you can make these galleries or these groupings, and I almost never I basically I look for the button that is all, and then I click that.
Hmm. Yeah, I do sort of worry about that. That I think I've got it redirecting so that it automatically goes onto the main body one. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
should
mean that
probably take
does
a lot of
work.
that stuff off.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
If you're, I guess, if you're
that
worried about
cobblestone
the
right at the
likes,
bottom.
if you're
That
worried about the likes
one.
going away, you can
Yeah,
always you can just
a little
you can
bit.
hide it, right, and you'll keep the
Yeah, that's true.
likes. Um, but yeah, I would just basically you've got your materials in here, and it's about working on your roughness
Hmm.
and surface definition when it comes to the albedo, and then just keep posting those, keep adding materials, try and explore outside of like right now you're going into really warm palettes. There's a little bit of metal in here, which is good. The club
Hmm.
door thing is actually really cool just because there's a difference in surfaces. This one's actually the Martian soil one.
Yeah, that was one I did. I think just over a year ago, actually.
This one's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, I did like that one. It's not on my portfolio because I feel like I could redo it a bit better now. But
Yeah.
yeah, maybe I'll revisit it at some point as well.
Yeah, because so this material is actually really good because with looking at the maps, you can see like how things are being displayed,
Hmm.
and so your ambient occlusion, while it's pretty strong, it's helping sell that depth when you get
Yeah.
into the shadows of the material. Um, but the roughness is where you can see that there it's lacking a little bit of that separation. You are
Hmm.
seeing it. I guess the stone is giving a different roughness to the soil itself, while still kind of being in the same range. So that because you want them to be melted together, right? You want them to
Yeah,
be like they're in the same environment.
yeah. I think I do struggle with sort of I guess balancing the height of everything and keeping it out of the keeping it so it doesn't look like it's separated into different height layers
Right.
and sort of merging it all together while keeping that
Yeah,
different material definition.
I was gonna say the normal looks really strong, but I think it's because of the angle of the stones or the pieces
Hmm.
of rock. Uh, I do agree with Muck that the albedo maybe is a little too saturated and maybe too dark, like the value is
Hmm.
too low. Uh, and I'm trying to see if there's other. I mean, the really nice thing about working as substance designer is you can actually separate those elements out, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
exactly. They're
allows you
all
to control the
yeah.
value. If you're building the graph in a way where you can easily control the overall value in your roughness as well as in your albedo, um, that allows you to have quite a bit of control when it comes to tuning those values to try and get it just right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this material is actually really cool. I think like this side specifically is really interesting, and this angle and the top image is really nice.
Hmm. Yeah. I'll have another go at it. 'Cause
Yeah.
the main thing I didn't like about it was the really noisy sort of sharp, sandy looking soil. Like it didn't
Mm,
look like it would be soil or sand to me. It just sort of looked like the fractal sun noise.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think adding other elements in there, like different sizes of stone, or I mean, it's Martian soil, so there's probably not going to be any twigs in there or anything like that. That'd be kind of weird.
No,
Uh,
no roots.
but was it Melissa in chat was asking if strong AO is bad, and usually I would say what you want to think about is like with ambient occlusion, anywhere that your AO is black, um, when that material is in shadow, it's that much darker on top of your albedo, right? So being
Mm.
careful with how dark you get. Like if you were to blur this image, or like when your material gets far enough away that it mips down, uh, the averaged value of your ambient occlusion is how much darker the material is going to be when it's in shadow. So if you have ambient occlusion that's quite gray in general, your material is just going to be much darker when it's in shadow and not being hit by direct light.
Hmm. Would you recommend using world bla- the world base nodes for normal AO? I think I did that on this material.
World based nodes,
Yeah,
dude, it's
the
been so long since I've been in. I don't know. What do you think, Ben? Ben's in chat. It's been so
yeah,
long since I've been deep in Substance Designer. So you're saying world based nodes? Is that for like
yeah. It's
calculating the scale of things?
yeah. It essentially just allows you to plug in like surface size and surface depth for AO and normals.
Oh man, let's see. We'll see if Ben answers that. He's probably going to type a wall of amazing text here. So Ben's saying he really thinks that you need to create a project where you can implement materials in context. Being a what B is a big prop, or preferably an
Hmm.
environment. So I've actually been saying this. Oh yeah, so Ben says working with metrics should come with working on an environment. So
Yeah.
having the environment helps bring context to the metric and size of everything. Ben taught me a long time ago about looking at the height map as like a range of like, I think it was 5 or 10 centimeters,
Hmm.
and moving everything around inside of that 0 to 1 range is going to help you understand the surface itself. And then, I mean, some materials are going to be more extreme than that, but um, I always say that a material artist should have like a environment artist buddy that always needs materials, because an
Yeah.
environment artist doesn't really want to spend the time making materials, but they always
Yeah.
think that they need to be making them,
Hmm.
because they think that you have to have substance materials on your portfolio. Um, but when you think about like, if you get an environment and then all you're supposed to do is make materials for it, that's like a great opportunity to have like scale in reference, and then have everything that you need um, at your fingertips to be able to make materials that reference each other for scale, and then they kind of like are in the same family, and it shows that you can make materials that communicate with each other cohesively for a scene.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm using this Artstation challenge to try and push that. I chose a very like open scene with a lot of emphasis on materials and relatively few props.
Oh, you're in the current challenge.
Yeah.
How's that going?
I think I last updated it a week and a half ago, so
Yeah.
about as well as that can be taken.
Do you I'm trying to think of like, so we've touched on the thumbnails. I think your materials are on their way, but it's not showing the like, when you look at a material and you're like, dang, what the hell? How did that person, how did that artist do that? Or like just being able to define the surface really well. I think that's where like if you still need to be pushing. Um, but what's what's in your plans for the future to like try and push yourself? Like what's the next step? I guess it's that challenge.
Yeah, so for now it's that challenge, and then I want to try and work my way towards sort of making painter-based smart materials. So designing in Designer and then utilizing it on props and Painter.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I'm going to try and do that a bit with this challenge. To it's got like a big sort of mining ship thing with a load of paint on it. So I'm going to try and design all the paint stuff in Designer and then port it over as a usable tool to Painter.
Should we? Is there anything that we can look at? And I don't want to click on it unless you're like you want to look at the.
I mean, you can look at it. It's changed a lot in the last week when I haven't updated the blog post, so bear that in mind. But
Yeah.
yeah, there are a couple of materials on there.
All right, I'm gonna dig through here.
The coal tar and the dirt material on my portfolio were for it.
Your Artstation might be choking. Let's see. Looks like it might. Right. So you're working on terrain as well. Is this Gaia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's Gaia. That's my like first time using Gaia, but it was a massive like open environment, so I figured I sort of needed to learn some terrain gen.
Yeah. How do you feel about Gaia? I've heard
I
it's a
mean,
little crashy.
I didn't actually crash for me.
No, that's
I
good.
wasn't working in 4K or anything. I think I ended up having to export at like 1024, but yeah, it didn't crash for me. I was perfectly happy with it. It's fun, you know. It as coming from designer, it's basically like the same thing as designer, but with different nodes and
Right.
different integrations.
Yeah. This is. I'm just looking at the scene. It's like this is a really good opportunity to be
Yeah,
getting those
yeah,
materials working together, like we were
hmm
talking about.
yeah.
I mean, I
Still,
guess as I scroll down, it's going to get older, right?
yeah, still very early block out.
Yeah. No, no, it's cool because it's like it's a good way of like I'm seeing how you're breaking stuff down, and you
hmm
can tell that you're thinking more in materials uh than the modeling
Really?
aspects of it, just by the way you're labeling the.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because I guess with these like mining towers being so far away, you could make a material that's very like it's a material and substance designer, and you're just UVing it to make it work for this tower.
hmm
Focusing on the labeling UI. You're like, yeah, this looks really good. I like how you're separating all these elements out, as it's just like it's a good way of like showing how you're thinking about the space as well.
Yeah,
That's really good.
that's drilled into me from uni.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, gotta have all your mood boards.
Oh man, dude, those don't go
uh,
away. I'm telling you.
I know.
You get into games and they're still there, and you're expected to
Yeah.
do them.
hmm
But so okay,
Yeah.
how much time is left on this challenge? It's like
I think 27 something days,
27
around
days.
30.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the last time I looked it was 33, and that's a few days ago. So
So I
yeah,
guess yeah,
it's something I might not finish within the time frame, but I will definitely finish it.
yeah. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. It's more
Yeah.
about challenging yourself, dude. ArtStation is just choking. There it is. It went down. Um,
Yeah, sad.
oh yeah. I need to figure out how to manage this if in the future I'm looking at portfolios and ArtStation's like, nope, I'm done. Um, so okay, so after the challenge is done, you'll have all of these materials, I guess, that you're going to be presenting as like a single scene
Yeah,
with all these
yeah, basically.
material balls and all that.
hmm
Um, I think I should check the ArtStation magazine. Ben's like, "Hey Jerry, you should check out the ArtStation magazine." You think maybe they're just starting to force me over there? Uh, so let's see if I can refresh this and it comes back after the challenge.
Oh, did I just TC?
What from the call? Man, are we getting all types of problems now? What's happening? Because I can hear you. Nah, it's up. All right, I got this. Let's see.
Ah, um, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all? I'm very confused by this.
Hello, it's fixed. Disconnecting,
Oh,
reconnecting.
yeah, there it is. No, I could hear you the whole time,
Oh, weird.
but you
Yeah,
couldn't
I
hear
don't
me. Anyways, so everything's good. We're safe. Everything is fine. Your
know.
portfolio loaded back up. It's not deleted.
Okay. Everything's back to normal.
Scuffed. Thanks for that, son, dude. Um, yeah, so I would suggest after because you're basically about to drop a bunch of materials uh, once the challenge is done. I would
Yeah,
suggest that once that challenge is done, you could put the scene at the very front and then have like a theme that goes across uh, all the materials. Because if you want to be showing your materials off, the scene is kind of secondary. But the reason I
yeah,
would say putting it as first is it brings reference to it, and then you have all of these new materials that you've built. Um, and that's one of the one of the occasions where I would say putting it together as a single, or instead of putting it together as a single post, you have like multiple posts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think your portfolio will look pretty refreshed.
Yeah, it needs a sweep. I'm sure a lot of
Dude,
the stuff
mine
on
needs a
there
sweep
should.
too.
Yeah.
I should probably do a
Yeah.
video where I just butcher my portfolio. But no, this is cool, man. Do you have any questions?
um, no, not particularly. I mean, I think we covered quite a lot of the stuff I was wanting to know. Yeah, I think that's about it for me.
Cool. All right, dude. We got like 5 minutes. So like, how's the weather over in the? Is it raining?
Oh, yeah, it's pissing it down. It's horrible.
Every time.
Yeah.
No, it snowed here. It's great.
Oh
Um,
yeah, we had a little bit of snow like last week.
yeah.
Yeah, didn't settle. When I say a little bit, I mean like a single snowflake fell somewhere in York, something like that.
Oh, that's amazing. Just one.
Just one.
Um, well, chat went really quiet, so I guess they have no feedback on the weather. Well, cool. I guess yeah, I guess we'll
Yeah,
call it here, and
yeah, cool.
I'll make sure to get it online in case you want to
Yeah, that'd be
go
great.
back to it.
Hmm.
But all right, dude. I'll
Yeah,
I'll talk to you later. I'll see you in the Discord.
thanks very much. See
Yep,
you.
later. Nice, nice. I like portfolio reviews. What is this? Oh, it's the chat. Oh no. Oh no.